And welcome back, it's your boy Asian Psycho, aka ToSniper98. Y'all just came here from the 5-star video that I put up before this, I'd assume, so if you wanted more memes, today's your lucky day, cause today, just like last year, we're also going over all the 4-star servants in Fate Grand Order. Since we're gonna have to talk about a lot more 4-star servants than 5-star servants, we gotta get started right away before the video length gets out of hand. So, as usual, we'll go by class and work our way over. Oh, and because last year people said that they couldn't understand my big brain meme names that I gave the servants, I'll stick to using their NoMBe names instead. So, here we go. Salter is a wave clearer and farmer who's still stuck with instinct, so pray to DW that they'll replace it with something better soon. She also doesn't give two shits about your dumb fast food tier lists. A burger's a burger no matter where she goes. Lily is a 3-star servant with a gold border, but don't let that distract you from the fact that she's still a precious cutie pie. Use her as a wave clearer and farmer, and particularly when you feel like pelting people in the crotch. Umu is a tank saber and an arts memer. Use her either as a wave clear and farmer or as your arts DPS in case an AoE arts saber is what you need. The fact that she recently got a 30% battery further accentuates her potential as an arts meme. 12 out of 10 would watch her live streams again. Sumanai is an anti-dragon AoE saber who, now that he's got all his buffs on NA, obliterates dragon enemies and saber faces like their thoughts. Well, maybe except for Archuria. Other than that, he's also another wave clear and farmer, though keep in mind that his low attack rating means that you're better off using other AoE sabers for non-dragon targets. The Aeon is an arts stall tank saber, which is a strange niche that only the most big brain of arts memes can appreciate. Her kit gives her both offensive and defensive utility but not damage, which sabers are more known for, so being able to use Daeon correctly and successfully is quite the challenge for any arts enthusiast. Rama is your local bicorn exterminator with an MP overcharge that targets demonic enemies and a motherfucking Destructo disc that he ripped off Krillin. He's also been looking for Sita since 2016, so DW, please put her in Lost Belt 4, otherwise he's gonna be looking for her for the rest of the fucking game. Saberla is another arts meme, this time a single target with crit memes on top of it. Get his star engine rolling, give him some extra crit buffs, and watch him boot people out of your screen. Gorilla is yet another wave clear and farmer, but this time he's got a triple buster deck, making him convenient to use when you're farming with just face cards. His triple buster deck and his guts allows him to solo some stuff if you're also a Honako fanboy like I am. Saber Liz is a single target buster saber whose third skill is literally the gotcha, but as a skill, and is better for seeing how hilarious her animations are than she is as an actual servant. But given the fact that all the SSR single target sabers in this game are limited, and in case you don't have any other gold single target sabers, Saber Liz, being welfare, can do a great job in filling in that role for you until you can get someone better. She might also trip lolicon alarms if you're not careful, so maybe give her something else to wear. Suzuka is also another wave clear and farmer, but can also double as a crit saber if you can get her going right. She's also a fox girl, high school girl with a valley girl accent, and a commando, so if any of these pique your interests, consider fluffing her tails. Redman is a wave clear and farmer, and can also double as a crit archer if needed, though the absence of a star weight buff of his own kinda holds him back. He is also hands down the best mom out of all of them, and for some reason shows up in tons of events all the time. Nienta is another wave clear and farmer, and she's also a star gen, though she's not ideal for it thanks to her class. That being said, her MP can generate a ton of crit stars, so her class will be less of an issue, though you still need to deal with her crappy MP gain whenever her MP generation buff isn't active, and even then, it's nothing special. Probably her most useful niche, though, is to buff other servants' MPs if they also have quick MPs because of her own 50% AoE quick buff. Nobu is an anti-divine and anti-riding archer who nukes people with either or both traits with her NP. Other than that, once again, she's another wave clear and farmer, and you can also use her as a crit archer whenever the opportunity presents itself. Despacito is kinda like a 4-star David since they both have Harp of Healing, but Tristan is more offensively oriented with his debuffs, buff removal, and 50% battery, though he seals his own MP the same turn he uses it. He also produces his own albums as a hobby in Chaldea, and apparently he's pretty popular in doing it. Plot and Justice are a potential single-target nuke with the same gimmick as their Rider version of doing more MP damage the lower their HP is, on top of being a Buster crit meme. Also, Anne is voiced by Saber, so she's probably the closest we'll ever get to having a Summer Lancer Artoria. The first of the Welfare Big 5, Chloe, is another single-target arts meme, except with her own 50% battery and projection, giving her the potential to MP loop twice in a row for massive damage, and then keep spamming her MP beyond that. She'll also definitely get you in jail if you're not careful. Michael Jackson, though not because of his own fault, is another arts meme. He's got a very similar kit to Chloe with a few key differences such as more offensive buffs in exchange for a weaker defensive buff, and a potential charge drain instead of a crit chance debuff. And remember, according to Aniplex, tan is the new black. Liz is a wave clearer and farmer, but she also has offensive utility in her defense debuff and double charisma for female teammates. If you like the idea of becoming her manager and getting called Piggy every day, then Liz might be the 4-star for you. Lalter is a Buster meme with a skill that Instinct should have been in the first place. She's also a strong wave clearer and farmer with the strongest mana burst skill in the game. And just like PTRD, she's got the Southern Hemisphere effect, so if you like Underboob and you need a strong farming Lancer, consider picking her up with your free 4-star ticket later on this year. Fion is a rare mana prism for most of you, but for you absolute mad lads out there who haven't burnt him yet, he's a surprisingly strong wave clear and farmer who can pull off arts loops later on with his buffs. He also has an RNG evade and debuff immunity and some other stuff, but people mostly really care for his AoE nuking. Shire was right, you can't let your dreams be memes, just look at Fion. Lancer Lee is another arts meme with burst arts crits for massive damage output and MP generation in one turn if you play his cards right. He can't offer anything other than damage though, so if you decide to use him, you're probably gonna have to build around him unless you're off farming something. Kyo Lancer is a single-target buster who, true to her character, singles out one target and works to kill them as quickly as possible due to her kit that buffs her buster damage and lowers the enemy's defense and crit chance, but also increases their attack at the same time, and causes them to attack more often due to her MP's skill seal. She's also got the Skaha quirk of being able to generate more MP off an ABB chain due to the high hit count on her buster cards. Sad Vlad is a single target anti-evil nuke. The fact that he's also a buster makes him an even bigger nuke. He's got a mostly offensive kit that turns him into an absolute unit for at least one turn with all kinds of buffs, and his MP pierces invul so his targets can't avoid the damage from it. But he's also got a taunt for a little bit of defensive utility just in case. True to her name, Jailter will also get you thrown in jail, but besides that, she's a strong wave clearer and farmer with the same level of mana burst as Lalter, though she can't really do much beyond that. Anna is a single target quick lancer, though like her older Rider self, she's not a great one with a subpar skill set. She is good at being adorable though, along with, again, landing you in jail. My homie is a tank rider who's really good at keeping herself alive and tries to keep her team alive too with a debuff clear and heal on her MP and a charm, but she kinda comes up short on that. So she's better off as a wave clear or a farmer. Lute Saint is a bit of an oddball. She's got a triple arts deck and has good MP charge and thus can spam her MP. But her MP's a buster and her attack rating is really low. Her skill set is also entirely utility with a small party heal that removes debuffs and a targetable buff removal with a defense debuff. More than likely, you'll be using her for her utility since there are better Rider wave clears out there. Plot and Justice return, this time as their OG Rider version. Their kit is supposed to allow them to have burst Stargen for one turn and then go in for big crits, but they're better known for their nuke NPs thanks to their original gimmick of doing more damage the lower HP they have. Santa Alter is a great welfare farming rider with her mana burst, and even though farming is really about all she can do, given how many caster enemies you're going to be farming for mats, you'll probably be using her a lot anyway. Too bad you can't get her ever again if you don't already have her by this point, unless DW pulls something out of their ass. Trap is a hella weird rider with a triple quick deck, bad MP gain, a subpar skill set, and an AoE quick MP that can't be scottied. But he does have a 50% battery, so I guess he'll become good as a wave clear or farmer somehow. Kintoki Rider is the second of the welfare big 5, being a nuke single target quick rider. Like Chloe before, he also has a damage steroid, 50% battery, and spammable MP thanks to his ridiculously strong MP gain. He's so broken, in fact, that DW didn't make another single target 4-star rider for 2 years until Ryoma. Surf Druid is an arts meme, infamous for her ability to farm with MP loops in both farming nodes and challenge quests alike. Though she needs some very specific support to pull that off, that probably involves you being a whale to some degree.
Watching the world rise up in flames.
Caster Liz is a welfare caster with a Buster MP to boot. This makes her a decent wave clear and assassin farmer, though she doesn't really have much use anywhere else. Media Lily is a dedicated healer with basically everything in her kit having something to do with healing. She also provides poison removal if that ever happens in the first place, debuff clear, and debuff resist buffs with her MP. No one's better at healing than she is, but because she's so specialized in it, she can't really do much else. Alice is a wave clear and farmer, but she's also a crit caster, which allows her to spam her MP more since most of her cards are arts cards, and so you'll have to build around her to get the most out of her if you're not just farming or wave clearing with her. Helena is the budget waver. She's got an AoE 20% battery, party triple card buff, and star gen skill, and her MP puts defense, crit chance, and debuff resist debuffs on all enemies. In other words, she's a solid party support. She also probably won't trip the lolicon alarm, keyword probably. Eddie is a weird support caster. He gives indirect buffs by buffing an MP by improving its overcharge state and gives a teammate faster skill cooldown and defense buff, along with providing stars with the star gen skill. His MP also seals both enemy skills and MPs for 1 turn and reduces their crit chance if he can get it off. He's definitely one of those servants that require 200 IQ arts memes to use properly. Eerie is like Media Lily, but she trades some healing power for the ability to cast Guts on the whole team with her NP. This comes in really handy for certain challenge quests that like to insta-kill your servants with random attacks or with Stella, so make sure you have her ready before then, if you have her, that is. If not, well, sucks to suck. Nito is a strong wave clear and farming caster due to her instant 100% battery at level 8 and her insta-kill power that can deal with small mobs very easily. She can't really deal with tougher stuff since her kit isn't optimized for that, but she farms low-level trash extremely efficiently and should be part of your core farming roster if you have her. Marie Caster is like her rider form, but with a lot more team utility with her charisma, star gen, enemy crit chance debuff, and party crit damage buff. She also plays volleyball with the enemies and dresses up in some weird fucking jellyfish costume that kills enemies by making them cringe at how silly it looks. Kazgil is your art support in case you don't have Fluffy Tail. He's got both a charisma and party arts buff along with a debuff success buff so that your team's debuffs are more likely to land. He's also got a giant party star gen buff, meaning that his MP can now generate a wave of stars along with your teammates' if they also have MPs with high hit counts. Just try not to overwork him like you do with your waiver. Snackface is an anti-Chad, charm blocker, and staller with a charm and charge drain as skills, and her MP also having another charm and defense debuff. She also has a double charisma buff for any divine teammate, and unlike most other double charisma skills, it also affects herself, though it's not as if that makes any real difference since other than those two things, she can't really do much else. Useless goddess indeed. Carmilla is an anti-female single-target assassin who, similar to Kyo Lancer, specializes in focusing one target to death while denying them of charge with her drain, weakening them with a defense debuff, and denying them of crits with a crit chance debuff before throwing her MP at them. Kinda like Steno though, she can't really be used as a star gen due to her low hit counts, but at least you can still use her as a DPS, unlike Steno. The third of the welfare big 5, Shiki is another single target arts meme just like Chloe. In fact, their kits are quite similar, both of them having a damage steroid, charge, and evade. Shiki does branch out to insta-killing, which can be helpful against non-boss and non-servant enemies and mobs, and she can be a decent star gen too, if you want her to be. Carry is also another single-target arts meme, and in fact, he occupies the same niche that Shiki does, except Shiki is better at it than he is since Carry has worse MP gen and damage output, and he doesn't have a hard defensive option. What he does have is a drain on his MP, a targetable taunt, and better star gen, but again, who cares about star gen when you can just have Jack, Merlin, or 2030. Summer Skaha is mainly an assassin, wave clear, and farmer, which is rare on its own, but she isn't really good at much anything other than farming. At the very least, she does have a 50% quick buff for herself, so that's nice. You could also use her as a substitute George by leaving her at level 1, since assassins have much lower star weight than riders, but that's up to you if you want to do that. Yanqing, if that's how I even say his name properly, is supposed to be a star gen, but again, why use anyone other than Jack or Merlin for servant-based star gen? You could also use him as a single-target assassin, but you already have Shiki for that if you have her. So I guess the only thing left you could do with him is just to make Gundam memes with his MP. Torture Lolly is a quick support assassin who also has the highest base MP damage out of all 4-star assassins in the game. Her name will make you want to go, ooh, what's this? But if you're not careful, she'll dunk you in rat poison, so approach her with high octane head pats to calm her down.
Hello, Instagram.
Herc is the champion of free-to-plays across the globe with his Buster deck, single-target MP, and Bond CE that makes him survive for way longer than a Berserker should have any business doing. Why bother with high IQ arts teams when you can just press red buttons all day? Easy game, easy life, right? Zerkerlot is a great wave clear and farmer thanks to his quick AoE MP, and he can also capitalize on his own MP with crit skills that help him collect his own stars and go ham with them. And once Scotty shows up, he becomes the poor man's Dante's and can loop almost anything Dante's can, so just make sure to get his third skill up to at least level 9 to prepare. Tama Cat is another wave clear and farmer with a quick AoE MP, though it's not as useful as Zerkerlot's, and she stuns herself after using it too. Now it's changed so that she doesn't have to deal with the stun as much, and you get to watch her throw exploding omurice at people. Oh, and if she actually does stun herself with her MP, you get to see her sleeping right in the middle of the fight. Fran has the strongest base MP damage out of all the Zerks in the game in terms of self-buff damage with no outside support, making her a prime nuke AoE farmer and wave clear, though unfortunately the only other thing that she's really good at is standing around looking cute. But maybe for some of you, that's all you'd really ask for. Beowulf is a strong single-target Zerk with a great damage steroid, but not much of anything else, until DW buffed his instinct to turn him into a crit Zerk, so now he's a one-turn Zerk nuke if set up properly. Anything to get rid of instinct from the game is good in my book, so I'll take it. Banana is a Swiss Army knife Zerk. She's got utility with buff removal and defense debuff on her MP, along with the charisma. She's got your typical Zerk deck with a Buster MP that she can buff with her charisma that also has an MP damage buff for herself, and she's got a debuff clear, a small heal, and a double defense buff to make herself a lot tankier than most Zerks should be. Eat your bananas, people. Cha-Cha is a decent wave clear and farmer, but that's literally all she's good at because her kit is weird as hell, and her attack rating is the lowest out of all 4-star Berserkers in the game. Again, other than farming, she's only good at looking cute and sending you to jail. Penth is another Berserker buffer with a Charisma and Party Buster buff, which, combined with her 3-turn debuff immunity, makes her a great choice for budget teams in challenge quests or just as a good Zerk with consistent damage output. She's also FGO's version of Jeff Bezos, who offers another premium service that involves her going to your house to kill you if you buy Amazon Prime. Summer Martha is a tanky DPS thanks to both being a ruler and having a Berserker deck, so she hard counters the ever-living fuck out of BB with class advantage. She can also help you hunt down demons thanks to her third skill, but other than that, she's mostly a general DPS with very good survivability, and try not to call her Tifa. Thick Medusa is a wave clear and farmer, though just like all the other Medusas, she's got the problem of having a subpar kit, which really limits her to mostly wave clearing and farming. But if you find Nose with mostly Berserkers, you know who to bring. Hessian Doge is a single target quick Avenger who uses insta-kill as an additional gimmick, and we already know how useful insta-killing is in a game like FGO if your name isn't Nitocris. He's also a crit Avenger, but both of these things Jalter already does much better. Sorry, Doge. The fourth of the Welfare Big Five, BB is a single target arts meme, and as a Moon Cancer, she's got class advantage against Avengers, who previously have never had a true class disadvantage against anyone. So now, whenever you come across an Avenger boss, your default answer should be BB in an arts team, and you should have no problems. Passion Lip is a wave clear and farmer, but only against cavalry class and berserker enemies due to her own class as an alter ego. She focuses on buffing herself heavily in terms of attack and defense, and also has a taunt to better put her defense buffs to good use and protect her team. Though her third skill does have an immediate stun on it, so you do have to use her first skill together with her third skill to avoid the stun. Other than that, she goes ham with the triple buster deck, just like some people do when they see her tits. And finally, saving the best for last, Mash, or if you're a dirty heretic like me, Matthew, is a shielder and the only one of her kind in the game. She takes and deals neutral damage against everything as a shielder, so use that to your advantage whenever you're dealing with an enemy class that you can't easily counter. She has great defensive skills that keep your team alive for as long as possible. Get her and her skills to max, cherish her, and give her lots of head pats. She deserves them more than anyone else in this game. And that's it! That actually went a lot faster than I expected. Surprising. As always, I'll come back next year with the next edition of this video, so in the meantime, I hope y'all enjoyed, and until next time, deuces.